So now we have our shiny new scepter file. You'll see everything from all of our CSVs is organized into one format, along with the correct category placed with every transaction. These columns right here are specific to Scepter, and so we won't be using those when we analyze them in Excel or whatever spreadsheet program you're using, but you're going to want to keep them for when you re-upload back to Scepter. So if we go to the help page on the website and we scroll down into the template downloads and download, we're going to be using the numbers template today, and open that up. You'll see that there are two pages. There's a main page. This is where all the analyzation of your data is going to occur. And then there's an elements page, which is where you paste in that data that you just downloaded from Scepter. But let's go ahead and just copy this over. You'll see your categories are automatically updated, and we see months 1 through 12 through the top, and how much we spent each of those categories for each of those months throughout. Down here is averaging each category by however many months you have input. So you're going to need to manually change the input number. So if you have 6 months input, you're going to need to change that to a 6. And that gives you an average of how much you're spending every month in every category and an average cost per month. Now, transfers isn't an actual expense, so we are going to separate that from the rest of the group. We're going to still want to keep that data, but so we're going to clean this up a little bit. Just make a spacer row there. Let's delete the rows we're not using. Actually, we're going to delete this too because we don't need to average our transfers per month. Let's go ahead and delete these as well. Let's modify so this row right here is summarizing however many expenses you spent that entire month. And since we don't want transfers in there, we'll just modify this to only include down to there. And then copy and paste that across. Oh, here too. Now I like to make my numbers file look similar to my Scepter file. So we're just going to mimic the colors and the spacing. So we'll separate personal. Okay, so we've got that all cleaned up how we want. Now every month I basically go through and I download all of my bank statements as CSVs and organize them in Scepter again. So what I do is I re-upload the Scepter file from last time. I re-import the new month's CSVs, categorize them, export it, and bring that back and just paste it directly over this. You can also just upload your new transactions without having an old file, so you could just upload new ones and redo your categories and such, but that does take a little bit longer. I find it just easier to just upload the last file I had and then re-export and replace. And that's what I basically do every month. So this is kind of going to be my entire template for the year. And I'll just come in here after I do a new month. I'll add those expenses. They automatically get calculated. I just need to put in an 11 here, and it'll give me an average per month. And then I can use this as basically a basis to see what's going on with my finances. This is intended for people that already have been using Excel to keep track of their finances, that know how formulas work and such. So this is supposed to be just a very basic introduction to your data here, and you can do more advanced calculations on different tables. So I'm planning on going through and making a video series for those that currently don't use spreadsheets to keep track of their finances but are unsatisfied with the lack of power and actual insight that budgeting apps provide, like Mint and such. They just don't categorize things correctly. It's hard to use the data, but they like the power of a spreadsheet but don't like the ease of use, which is what I found really frustrating with spreadsheets and why I made this. So it just makes the use of spreadsheets a lot easier. So cool. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. You can either comment in this YouTube video or we should be getting an email address up soon. I'll put that in the description. And so, like, for example, one of the things that we need help with is figuring out what exactly the banking formats are for the different types of banks to download from. Let us know what you're using for that, and it can be made pretty easy.